Hi, this is Rachelle, and this is part two of my process in making the Mermaid Journal. Here, I'm just showing an envelope that I've decoupaged with napkin, and I think that's where we left off in part one. So I'm just trimming off the excess napkin. I let this dry overnight, and I'm just trimming it up. The paper that I decoupaged onto was some paper that I'd used to mop up spray with a stencil. So I'd sprayed something else, and that was the paper that was under what I'd sprayed. And then I just took the stencil and pressed it on there, so it gave it a little bit of ink on that paper. And I'm just flipping through the pages that I have cut. These are all cardstock pages with a few embellishment envelopes on them. All of them are sprayed or treated in some way as far as the envelopes. The pages, most of them are from My Porch prints, and then a few of them I think are from, oh, I'm not sure. I'll make sure to list the shops that I use papers from in the description box below. But here I am gluing the pages back to back to create the book. I've never done this type um, journal before. I saw this done on My Porch Prints. I'll link to the video in the description box below. And so every other page I am using coffee or tea stained paper. So I'm using digital paper, then coffee or tea stained paper. And I am using Fabri-Tac to glue the pages together. I think the next time I do this, I would choose to use a different glue, something that was a little easier to spread. I know Fabri-Tac does have an excellent hold, but it is not that easy to spread. So here I'm just smoothing out the pages. This is quite a long process. So it took me a while to do them, and I'm trying to make sure everything gets lined up properly. I have a few pages that are a little off, but I can trim those up, and once they are inked, that will solve part of that problem. See here where the glue didn't go all the way to the edge. That's 3-in-1 that I'm using there actually now, I think. Which 3-in-1 and Fabri-Tac, I have a difficult time telling the difference. I'm not sure that there is a difference. And I did stitch the envelopes into the pages. So the pages that you see with envelopes, those are actually stitched in. That is one of the most beautiful pages, and it printed out so nice. The one with the blue and the mermaids. And I sped this up so much because it was pretty much a tedious process of gluing and placing, and it really took me a while to get that part done. So I didn't want you to have to sit through that. And here I'm just flipping through all the pages to see how they look together. And I pulled out some ephemera just to see how it would look in the journal. So, and to see what items I want to use. And I'm kind of just placing them in the pages. I decided I wanted to add this additional page onto the back. So I'm adding that in. And now we're all set. So now I'm going to go in and ink the edges of all the pages. I'm using Vintage Photo, my favorite to use for inking edges. And again, a long, tedious process, but I sped it up so that you wouldn't have to suffer. um, and if you want to see more live action or slowed down a little bit more, let me know in the comments below and let me know what you would like to see on the channel. So here I'm trimming up some of the edges where they weren't quite even and continuing on with the inking. And the reason I went with every other page tea or coffee stained paper is that gives me an opportunity to embellish without covering up the beautiful images that are on the digital papers. Because the digital papers are so nice, I didn't want to cover them up with embellishments and ephemera, so and pockets and things like that. So I used the coffee and tea stained paper pages so that I would have somewhere to place all of those things. And my overspray envelopes, they look really nice in this journal. So even when you're like spraying, I spray in a shoebox with my inks, and even the pages underneath, I keep those because they make great additions to junk journals and handmade journals for any number of things. You can use them to back tags, make envelopes, make pockets, and they're nice because they already have a pop of color and they're ready to go. Like that envelope there was where I sprayed a doily, and that was the paper that was underneath the doily. So it came out really nice. More inking. Lots of pages in this book. Again, this I think is my favorite page. So this is the end of part 2. And part 3, I'll start working on the cover for this. So I hope you'll come back and check out part 3. If you haven't seen part 1, go check it out. All the links will be in the description box below. Thanks for watching. Bye.